Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. It's Lori-Lynn. I am the High Priestess Oracle. Thank you for coming in again to my channel, and if you like my channel, please press the like button, subscribe, share, and also welcome to my crazy hair day. It's kind of fun. I try and it just whatever happens, happens. So this is what I got today. So we're going to do a general reading of what you most need to know this week. Because it's Monday, so that's my favorite is the lessons for the entire week forward, and how we're managing. So I have 3 piles. The first pile will be the yellow-orange pyramid. Second pile is the green calcite, and the third pile is the peach calcite. And these again are from my girlfriend Cherie Bowman from FreedomsWind. I believe that's her Facebook name, and she probably has an Etsy page as well. She's incredibly talented and one of the most inspirational and gifted people I've ever met, and I love her dearly. So I have the 3 piles, so just take a moment if you'd like to, or drawn to the yellow-orange pyramid, the green calcite, or the peach calcite. Okay, I'll give you a minute. And I'm going to bring out the first cards as you choose. And I'll put these 2 away. And we'll start with the yellow-orange pyramid. And we're going to go over the overall theme of this week and see where we are headed. Wow. Okay, so the first card that comes out is the King of Swords in the first position. So recognizing that the energy at this time is really, there's a very strong masculine energy within you or around you. And I believe the purpose of this card being here is that this week is going to require for you to really stand strong in your own power, in your own thoughts. And it's like, stop being swayed or pulled. You've grown, you've known, you understand, and you realize so much. You've worked so hard to get where you are. And you have more power than you honestly give yourself credit for starters, or you have more power than you probably ever imagined. And this does have to do with manifestation as well. And I know I mentioned manifestation well, but if you look around it, because this is the king, and the king is I really picturing so much in my head right now is someone really standing in their power. And for however that's translating, I'm not sure, but it's very strong. It's like someone's trying to push you and you're not moving. You are not moving an inch. You're standing there because you're standing strong in your beliefs. You're standing strong in your wisdom, in your growth, and your experiences. So all of this accumulation that you've learned and grown over the last many years, or, however long, months, 6 or 8 months, I believe it was, just within not too long of a period. I mean, it would have been a whole period of lifelong growth, but this period of gain of strength and commitment to your inner truth is really being highlighted this week. They also said tested, and I guess it's, whether it's being highlighted or tested, but it's kind of like step up to the plate now and don't let anybody knock you down. Wow. Okay, so the card in the position of your challenge is the card of the spider. And so really what that is saying is that 2 things, 3 things, or whatever, but the spider is, as much as I'm afraid of them, the spider is one of the most creative and beautifully creative creature. It doesn't just make sorry, the messages sometimes come on top of the other messages. It doesn't just haphazardly make a web. It creates. It knows how to make the web. So the other part that they want you to know is like that. Allow this sense of pride coming from your intuition to really draw you, move you forward to create your pathway. And that's the strength. And know how strong a spider web is. That's what it's always keeping reminding yourself is this life, this world that you've created, you have created. And so stay strong in there and remember that you can always create more. The manifestations, and it's almost, this is really cool. Sometimes if you could see within my mind, it's what's created in there, but it's almost like something comes up, the spider creates a roadblock or a different pathway. And so always find that pathway. And if you need advice, go to the person that is most likely to be able to, like, trust your instinct, most likely be able to give you a little bit of assistance. And just know that you are the creator and do it authentically and know how strong you are. It's so, just keep reminding yourself that you have built this beautiful web, that you've built this stability, you've built, be proud in how far you've come. And the, wow, and the outcome, I'm not sure if I showed you the spider, but there's the spider. The outcome of this truth and this honesty and understanding is the card of the swan, which is a transformation. And so basically how I'm seeing it is there's this, it's almost like this male dominant strength and that powerfulness. Perhaps you're single, or you're a single parent, or you do more single parenting, or you're in a position of authority. You may be asked to go into a position of authority, but there is a real sense of you stepping into that position. But when you're stepping into it, you're going to step into it in a more, I'm going to say, masculine, what we would consider a masculine, more so energy, because it's more demanding. It's more demanding and authoritative. So in that position, it's like you need to be in that position to hold strong and steady, to be able to see that all that you've created, to know that you have created and what you created is strong, what you've built upon is strong. And from that, it's almost like that solid base, that solid grounding. From that comes this transformation of the swan, where you have now moved forward with really trusting in your gifts, trusting in your intuition that sits at your solar plexus, that you're really beginning to trust in the beauty within yourself, rather than, and that's that intuition that's coming from the spider, and as it creates, but you're able to trust in yourself and not having to go outside yourself for all of the answers. You need to go back to really 100% trusting yourself. And that's why it had to have this almost demanding strength. But it's just that strength is also built. The King of Swords is about honesty and being really truthful, finding that integrity and that truth within yourself. So over the next week, it's going to be like sort of a period of that, you may be rushing forward and saying, they say that, you don't have to tell people how wonderful you are. You don't have to tell people because people will just know. But it's almost as though that's the lesson that you're having to learn. The lesson that, sometimes we have to toot our own horn. And then we have to start creating from that. And then we transform that energy into this beautiful, insightful, almost someone with psychic gifts that, is able to see, is able to utilize the gifts within us. We all have all these gifts within us, and they're to different degrees. It's like any other gift that we have. Whether you can run, whether you can type really fast, whatever that gift is, whether you can, cut hair, do hair, whatever it is. We all have gifts. Some people are just more gifted and dwell more into the possibility of utilizing those gifts. I have spent many, many years in honing my gifts and understanding them better. So that's the journey that you are going to be taking this week. And I'm going to go to the wisdom of the, let me tell you what it's called. The Soulful Women's book. So I'm going to use 3 cards that will give us insight into clarity on the king and a message that would come. And the message that comes with that is shining bright, my light. I shine my light and allow my creative power to turn bright. So that actually really goes quite well with this, because you are illuminating in truth, because this, what's being highlighted in this picture is her throat. So she is being highlighted in truth, and there's that sense of pride that she is. And that sense of pride, it's kind of interesting, as I say often, is that I just say things, and that's the channeling that I do. So it happens really more often than I'm aware of. So the card that's covering that is to be really, so it's the King of Swords, and shining bright is saying is you need to be proud of this and wear your, your heritage, your culture, your lessons, your experience. Wear that with pride and walk forward and make those decisions, and don't let anybody push you down, put you down. Hold strong in who you are. So what card goes with the card of the spider? And it's the card of following my truth. I'm sorry I laughed, but I had to bring myself. So what clarifies the spider is the card of following my truth. And that's the spider. He's following a pattern. He's following, knowing that what he's building. So remember what you're building. Remember what you're working towards, and follow your truth. It's not follow the leader. You are your own leader. Follow your truth, believe in, and follow your inner guidance. That's, again, the spider. And that's that silk that comes out of the spider. That's your intuition, your perception, your guiding light at this point to live an authentic and empowered life. You want to live as authentically as you possibly can. Living in someone else's life and someone else's authenticity is just we can't do it, because we don't know how to be anybody else. And so we start living a false life. Wow. So the card that clarifies the swan, and that is moving into that stage of that gentleness and the blessings. And it is a blessing to give myself the gift of my own presence. That's exactly what we just talked about, as well as the card is of loving from the inside. And it's living and loving from the inside. It's living from this place of intuition, this place from your third eye, and speaking your truth, your throat chakra, grounding yourself in your truth. The card red is really prevalent right here for whatever reason, but that's meaning ground yourself in your truth, ground yourself in who you are, ground yourself in your light. That's what you're being asked at this time. And let's see who we have from the Shaman's Oracle. Let's see who we have with the King of Swords and the speaking and learning our truth. Who is here to guide us along that part of the journey? And the card that comes out is, wow, the Shaman of Stars. So you're being very, very, very protected, guided by a lot of stars. So you have the shining bright because you're listening, you're seeing, the shaman of the stars is going to take your truth and carry your wishes out to the universe to be brought back to you. That's the manifestation. That's the fruition. And what this card's showing me is that it's a thought, it's a prayer, it's an intention. But all of the wishes that you want, put those out there, coming from a place of truth, coming from a place of love. And the universe is going to bring back to you that which they know is authentic to your being. And so in the challenge card is following that truth, is really listening to that truth, setting up, coming towards, something that's going to try to move you away from it, test you. This week is something that's going to be tested this week is saying you can put up your boundaries and your barriers. Now, again, I stopped when I was doing that because I really noticed that there is a guide that's with you at this point, and it is an older being spirit, say a grandfather, like a very grand person. But this is somebody that taught you in your lifetime truth about speaking your truth, about finding your truth and believing in yourself. So somebody that's been with you quite some time is really asking you to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself because they believed in you. And this card that comes up that is here to help guide you is the Hunter of Abundance. And so with the Hunter of Abundance and being the challenge, and abundance doesn't always look at the one side of it. The abundance looks at all side of abundance, of financial abundance, and abundance of fun, abundance of friends, abundance of finances, abundance of abundance of love, abundance of truth. And so what the Hunter of Abundance is doing is they're by you, because now you're learning to live an authentic life. You're learning to really know what you want and where you're headed towards and what your goals are. So if you say, if you put into the universe, my goal is to reach as many people as possible. This is what I intend to do. So I ask you, Hunter of Abundance, to go before me, to lead me on that path, to lead me in that direction, and I will follow. I will trust, because you started listening to that intuition, that intuition that the spider is showing to us, that's where their strength comes from, and that is such a tight bond, and that bond has to be solid bond, an unbreakable bond. And so the Hunter of Abundance will go along with you and to follow your truth as you are learning your truth, and will lead you towards the abundance that you are truly looking for. So the final card that comes in the position of, learning to live from the inside, loving from the inside, of transformation, of trusting, of going from a place of having, some fear and some anxiety, or a lot of, and perhaps your whole journey has gone from a lot to less and to less and less. And this is going back to where you really trust yourself. Wow. And it's the card of the Dancer of Reconciliation. So there's going to be within this week going to be reconciliation on many sides. That's just what they said, on many areas. Again, where the abundance card is being, abundance of all sorts. This is the Dancer of reconciliation. This is reconciliation with your truth, aligned with who you are, with who you came here to be. It's finding that clarity of your life's journey, of your life's mission at this point in your life. And so this week is to really prepare yourself and to align with so much truth, understanding fully the gift of the gift that the spider brings with their strength and unity, and a word that they keep saying is conglomeration. I'm not sure I even know what the word conglomeration means, but that's what a word that they keep meaning. So if you might want to look at that card. So I've also created a box, and it's called the Magical Wish box. So it's just going to bring forward some messages that you might need to hear right now and to understand. And there's messages that are both more masculine sided and more feminine sided, unisex, what they should all be. So messages that you're needing to hear at this point, we're just going to kind of put them aside because we want to look at where you're within a relationship with those around you, with a certain person. If you have a person in mind, keep that person in mind. A relationship at work, a relationship at home. But this is going to help us with the relationship and where you're at, and then the messages that need to go with that. Wow. So the message here is stay optimistic about your love life. So whatever's transpired, whatever's going on within your love life, these are the messages that are going to come to here. And this message is actually kind of sad. And this person, they're very much deeply in love with you. And the message is, I can't lose you. And so perhaps they themselves are going on a journey. And okay, rather than going on a journey, they have a karmic situation that they're needing to follow through. So they're really asking you to stay optimistic, okay? Because there's a situation that they're working through. They don't want to lose you, but they have to work through this situation. It's very important to them, very important to their journey. And they really think about you all the time. They can't stop thinking about you. And they're trying to find that way and work through starting over. And it's, can we start over? And that's what they want. They want to be able to start over. But they have to finish completing, working through this karmic. And if, those are the first ones that I picked out. So they're really in that state that they are that they've almost worked through it because they really know that they've let you down. And so they want you to know that they also love you dearly and they can't lose you. So they just said, please stay with me. And so if you can find that in your heart to stay with them, then yes. And on the feminine side of it, messages is, I haven't forgiven myself. And so there's something perhaps that maybe that you've done, and it doesn't always have to do with this relationship. It could just be something within your life that you need to look back on and forgive yourself for. And that may even be in relation to what we talked about in the first part of the reading, is that, finding your truth. And so being honest with yourself about a situation so you can forgive yourself, knowing that you're worthy and, you've deserved this person, this love, that when you're not being optimistic, it's because you're putting yourself down. And there is some confusion because you really aren't sure about how that they feel about you. And that's because they're in this karmatic situation, that they're dealing with stuff that is going on in their life right now. And you really know that they are the one that you want. You're the only one that I want. So you're sticking with that. But it becomes such a, you're unsure. There's, you almost feel like you're not on sure ground. And you need to find that and be real about the fact that you have not moved on. You haven't moved on. And I don't think they know that from what they're saying, so it's communication that is communication that's so important between the two of you. There's been fear, and it had to do with that karmatic situation. And it says it's always been you. So I think that you have tried and tried and tried. Oh, this is too funny. Sorry. Tried and tried and tried to walk away from one another, you know, perhaps. But your final card is the exact final card that they had, and it's I know I let you down. And so there is that possibility that you both let each other down in some degree, that you both have a certain amount of forgiveness of self first, and then forgiving one another for, you know, or coming to honest terms of that's where you were at. You know, there are times when we do feel that we have let somebody down, or that we have been let down ourselves, when the reality, the truth of the matter is that we've let ourselves down, or we've had a lesson that we've had to work through, to go through. And so it really isn't a matter of letting anybody down. It's just a matter of going through the process of learning the lessons. And so that's being honest with yourself and being honest with them. Okay, pile one, that was your deck, your reading. So thank you. Again, if you liked what you heard, then share and like and subscribe to the channel. So we now move to the second pile number 2, with the green calcite. And so the first card that we're going to bring out is where you are right now. And the first card that comes, wow, is the card of wealth. Nice. So pile number 2, pile number 2, what you're looking for I'm going to say is right there, but it's hidden. But I think it's right there and hidden. It's almost like you've had to go through, it's not almost like that. I know I use that term a lot. It's as though you have worked really, really, really hard to get to where you are at this place in your journey. You've worked and you've built, and it's almost as though there's an initiation is going to be taking place, and it's an initiation for you to be presented with, or to be offered, or to come upon. But there is some sort of wealth, financial abundance, financial security that is coming towards for you. And it's coming because of the work that you have done, the journey that you've been on. That's the journey that you were meant to take. And the card that comes up in the position of the challenge is the card of the novice, and that's the card of the Fool, you know, in the regular tarot deck. And it's really about being innocent, and it's about being the beginning and learning new skills. But from coming next to the card of the wealth, this is the card of the novice. And so in the card of the challenge, it's saying that when this this opportunity comes to you, is afforded to you. It's a whole new beginning, and it's like where you were, who you were, has transformed into a completely different. It was like if you saw a year ago, if you saw yourself a year ago, that person would not know who you are now. And so it is starting fresh. So don't fall back on the, some of these subliminals, some of the, potholes. Don't fall back into those. Don't get tripped up. It's follow your heart, follow your instincts, follow all of the lessons that you've learned up until this point. Have some fun, be creative, find new ways, find new beginnings. What can you do? Start to create, make a plan. That's the challenge. It's not just going out and haphazardly. It's creating the plan, but in a very innocent manner, like taking those chances, not putting so much thought into it, going with how you've felt, how you've learned to understand your feelings within your body, how you've learned to listen to your intuition, to be guided by the intuition, how you've learned to be guided by your heart. And so that's the opportunity, is a brand new beginning is before you. And so to take that on in with the light and the aura and the energy of where you've transformed to this place right here. And the final card outcome is the card of forgiveness. And interesting that it comes up as mushrooms, which I have an abundance of mushrooms in my front yard right at this moment. Crazy amount of mushrooms, as a matter of fact, that sort of look like that. Anyways, this card is of forgiveness. So the result coming from what you're journeying through is being able to see the world, being able to see your life, being able to see your past completely differently. The players of your past, I always say that the players in your past came with you to help teach you those lessons, to help. Every person that you met has taught you something that has moved you forward, that has helped you grow, that has helped you to become who you are, to become this person that is innocent, this person that draws from that innocence, that is very intuitive. So, you need to look back and forgive each experience where you thought it was something that really brought you down, seeing that from the new perspective, forgiving yourself for acting out of haste or acting out of unself-love, acting out of I keep wanting to say hatred, but I don't like the word. So reacting. And so now you'll be able to respond from that place of love because you've been able to forgive all of that. And again, this goes back to the newness of this new person that you've become. So the cards that clarify these three cards, the card that that clarifies the card of wealth is the card of self-belief. And so the card reads that self-belief is the magic key that opens up a better, more inspired future for me. So as there's the poem by, I believe they say it's by Charlie Chaplin, and it's As I Began to Love Myself, read that poem, and it's just such a beautiful, beautiful poem. But as I began to love myself, as I began to believe in myself, as I began to love and believe in myself, I began to believe that I deserve as much as I believe that other people deserved. The belief that you have in others, the belief that, or the love that you want to give to others, you're now able and capable of giving to yourself. So that self-belief is what changes everything. So the card that clarifies the novice card is the card of divine patience. So Spirit just said you're being rewarded for your patience. And that's also because it's clarifying the card of the Fool, of the novice. The card reads, my soul brings forth right conditions and opportunities for me. So opportunities are going to come, and the best answers and solutions are delivered at the best of times. So, you know, this patience, and connected with the card of the novice, is being able to go within and to, you know, just kind of sit back and sit with the feeling of somebody's offered. Sometimes, you know, when people come with offerings, or sometimes people also, what I'm getting are people coming forward and asking all of a sudden from you. That becomes the decision of yourself of whether to give. And it's almost like having to disassociate from the behavior from the person. Somehow that's going to make sense to somebody, but it is about, and I think that's why the card of forgiveness is so important, because perhaps that's part of it, as all of a sudden seeing something completely different, and there becomes a new divine patience. So it's not just patience, it's a divine patience that you've had to learn and work for, but you are being rewarded for that patience that you have. Strengthen your gifts, your truth, your situation, your experience, your life in. And wow, the final card that comes up that clarifies the forgiveness is igniting my joy, attuning to the highest good in myself and the highest good in others. Opens me up to the divine gifts of love, light, and that vibration. It ignites your joy when we let go of any sort of dissonance, of disassociation, of disconnect. This is a reconnection, and the reconnection starts with the love within yourself and forgiveness. And that's the key to clarifying of where you're heading. So who's with you on this journey this week? So with the card of the wealth, that's helping you with here. Wow, it's Shaman of Reflections. Cool. That is going back, reflecting upon your life, because I'm saying here that you're being rewarded for, but it's going back because now you believe in yourself. But going back and seeing that you've always believed in yourself. What you weren't believing in or what was disrupting that were the messages that you had to held on to from other people. That's why it's self-belief, because you're now looking back and reflecting on what was true and what was not true, and understanding that you do deserve just as much as all of those others do. But you'll understand also that that block that was put up was because of the lack of self-belief that was within you, and seeing this belief within the heart, and that's the light within there. And so reflecting upon your heart and knowing that you do believe all that you've earned and gained. and you are being rewarded. So the card of the Fool and the Divine Patience, ooh, interesting, is the card of the Companion. So there is probably another aspect within this, is that there may be somebody else involved with this part of your journey, and that brings a balance. Okay, the message that just came was, I am the one that you've been waiting for. And so I think rather than there is somebody else involved, this is yourself coming to new terms with yourself, coming in back into believing in yourself and being your best friend, being your best companion, being the best one for you, and spreading your wings, and, you know, really seeing things differently, but doing in such a thoughtful, caring manner, because you've now become your best friend, and what you wouldn't allow for your best friend or for, you know, your child. You would take a bullet for your child. Take a bullet for yourself. And that's what you've been learning, is to protect yourself and to know that you're guided by Spirit, and Spirit's always with you, but you are who you've been waiting for. And the final position of the forgiveness and of igniting my joy is the card of the Spirit of Family. And so this could have different meanings, different intentions for a lot of people, but it's about defining who is your truth, who is your family. Most people within our family or close family that we commit to for a long time are people that we are in our soul group. So we've come with those people to help teach us, to help learn from one another the lessons, and knowing and understanding that as together, through that forgiveness, through that joy that is created because of the forgiveness, forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, but it's also forgiving with lessons and love and sending blessings, and understanding that force of commitment of family and how tight you are. And so always keeping that solid. If I would always say, keep clear your values. And if there's, let's say there may be a reconnection of a family as a wholeness, because you're seeing it all in a different light. So it's a reconnecting, it's a coming together. So somebody may have had to teach you something that you really disliked. And so in that light, you can now forgive, because you can see that they were there to, teach you certain lessons that that you asked them to teach you, that you came to teach. It wasn't you just teaching them, it was them teaching you as well. It's both sides. We're all here to teach and to learn. So we're going to get out some messages. I created these, it's called a magical wish box, just because I thought it was pretty. And I'll shake it up and let's see if we can get it out. I have to do something about this because I can't get it out. My boxes, because I have no nails and I want to use my teeth. So there we go. There's the messages. Come out. And just do it like that. Much easier. Okay, and we're going to pick up the romance angel cards, and we're going to get the overall energy of a romantic situation, a relationship. Take it any way how you resonate. So there may be a separation within this relationship. But the separation, here's the card of separation, from the feminine side is not really, is not really, I don't think this is a separation from you and this person. I think this is a separation from the male person with the with another female side, but there's a separation involved. I just don't think it's a separation within this relationship that you're thinking of. That's not where the separation is coming from. Somebody needs to separate, whether yourself or your partner or a person that you're thinking of. Somebody needs to separate themselves from a situation that they're in, that's really caused them to cut off from a lot of what their feelings. They know they have those feelings inside, but there's some sort of partnership that's, stopping them. And whether that's a friend of theirs, a family member, but there's a separation. They need to separate from them because that person that is drawing them away is being very, very selfish. And so with this, within this separation from the masculine side, and the question is they really want to start all over. And perhaps that's why they're really trying to, but the person is hanging on to the male side, and so they are working at it, and they want to start fresh. They want to start new because they just can't stop thinking of you. It's like you are in their heart. You are in you're in their soul, and they know when they walked away that what they did was wrong and that they were letting you down, but they took the easy route. They took the easy route from this, and they really want you to know that they regret that and they're very sorry for that, and they are working towards coming together. And the time that you have spent apart has really shown how much that they do love you and how much they want to be with you and how much they're working towards being with you. On your side is, there seems to be a sense of, and the card is about your mental health, your mental well-being, and perhaps because of some of these things, some of these struggles that you've been through, and that's what you've been working on. So, again, where the separation, and they're working towards starting over. Perhaps they are seeing that your mental health has been struggling, and just through what we've all been going through, we are having, an added mental health, issues, or not everybody, but lots of people. And what you recognize is that, this person is the one. You know that they're that person, and that it's always been that person. And so are you willing to, clarify to, are you willing to clarify and to release what's gone on? Because what's holding you back is sometimes your thoughts are going to hold you back because they haven't been positive, and you're working on that. And that's that change of that person is not going back to, this mental health that's been, you've been struggling with. And so is keeping your thoughts, positive, keeping your thoughts and not attached to somebody else. And the next one is, nobody understands me like you do. And that would, say to me, there is a bond with you too. I think it's an unspoken bond, that because it just seems to be that you have this connection just in the way of the picture, the image, is that they, it's almost like they just have to touch one another, and there's an energy that flows through, and that says it all. When you say nothing at all. And on your side as well, you actually did let them explore, let them figure it out on their own, which, you know, I guess is being the bigger person. But you need to forgive yourself for that, because it says, I haven't forgiven myself, because you didn't fight. And you really needed to put more effort into it. But again, that's the past. So forgive yourself for that. Accept what you're responsible, and respect what you're take what you're responsible. Forgive yourself. Know that you had to learn and grow, and you will understand. The final message that came up was, how do you feel about me? And that's just your sense of insecurity. It's not, you're still having to deal with, you know, some of these issues that you've worked really hard on. So don't fall back into that. And that would be falling back into the messages of insecurity, of not trusting, of not believing in the connection. Trust and believe in the connection. And so whatever you're wishing for, whatever you're wanting, the situation, however you want it to transpire, work out, that's the way it will, if you allow it to do so. Okay, so that would be pile 2. So pile number 3, which is the orange calcite. Hello, pile 3, how is ya? So we're going to start with the overall message of where we are this week, what you need to learn from this week. Whew. And this week is a whole new start for you, a whole new beginning. There's changes coming up. There's something that you have your eye on, that you see. Okay, so what I'm going to say is, this is a visualization or an intention that was set, but it's almost an image that you have in your head that you've thought about, but not thought about it like incessantly. Thought about. It's a dream, a wish, a visualization, intention, and you've set the intention. And it's, so what I'm saying is, you're not thinking about it constantly, but you set it, and it's what you want. It's like your dream come true. And right now you're in the position that you're starting to walk towards it. There's been a rebirth within your situation, or a birth within your life, a change of perspective, and you're now being able to see all that, your wishes, your dreams, your truth, all of that you can walk towards. And where there were challenges or obstacles that you needed to go through, you needed to go through that. There's also a coming together of 2 people doing this together. It's sort of like a journey together, but it's almost like your dream, and they're helping you with your dream, and providing protection for you, or keeping you moving forward. And so this whole rebirth is what you've wanted. So keep focus, keep your eye going that... Sorry. I can't make this up. I've said that. The next card that came up is focus. Keep your focus, which is in the card of the challenge position. I absolutely love when that happens, which is very, very interesting. And maybe this is the deck. I'm not really sure. But these are trees, 2 trees, the birch trees, okay? So, and I alluded these as Spirit said that they were people. And what they were not were obstacles. They're not what they are people. You have support. Know what your path is and walk along your pathway. Walk along what you've focused on. Walk along what you've intended. Walk the path that you want to walk on the path, and don't let, I think this again is offering, all of these trees are offering support. These are, whether they're friends, they're spirit, but they are offering you support, and they're reminding you to stay on target, to stay on your focus. That's the only way you're going to get to where you are, is by staying on focus. And the final card in the position is abundance. And by staying in focus, it's going to take you to where you want to go. If you go off focus, if you decide to walk into, go a different direction because, whatever reason, I could use an example, and I'd say, I get in my car and I love my GPS because it's kind of fun and seeing where it's going to take me, hoping that it always takes me in the direction that I want to go. But I know some people who go, well, set the GPS, but we're going to go this way. Stay in focus, stay on focus, stay on target. That's the safest, most protected way, the quickest route to where you want to go. Okay, it's the quickest route. So don't think you have a shortcut. Shortcuts are not shortcuts. They end up to be long cuts. And you're heading towards the life that you wanted. This is within this week, but it's reminding you, and it's the start. What it's reminding you is that see abundance as threefold, as mind, body, spirit, of everything coming together. This is about asking, put it out into the universe, and then opening up to receive, and seeing abundance in little things and in big things and different things, and look for the messages and the tokens and the guidance, the nudges, the touches, just the thoughts that come through, that if you keep focused and saying that this is what's going to lead me towards my where I want to go, my hopes and my dreams. If that's what your focus is, that's where you're going to be led to. So stay within there. So the message is that to clarify these cards, and the first card we're going to clarify is the card of the birth rebirth. And it's the card of my creative power. So you have now cleared away. You've cleared away what you needed to clear away. And you're using that power from your third eye, because your third eye knows. Your third eye knows where you want to go. And also aligning it with your starseed chakra above your head, and invest your creative potential. Know your creative potential from all of that you've cleared away, because now your creative potential is going to be optimistic. It's going to be pleasant and joyful and happy. And you're going to start using that. And that creative power is the focus that's going to lead you on that journey, that's going to take you to where you want to be. Now, the card that clarifies your focus is the card of Princess Charming. And what I love the most about this card in this position, because the message just came, is to, you know, there are some people that just walk into a room and people are drawn to them. People are, want to be around them. They want to be part of that energy. Be that. That's what you're being asked at this time, is to be that. To be that princess, to be that with dignity, with charm. And so stay focused on your goal, but don't be, sit in a very delicate energy, a very confident energy, a very creative energy, a very charming energy. Stay in that focus, because that, Spirit just said, you gather more bees with honey. You gather more friends with a smile. You gather more unity, more abundance, more love, more all of that with a really good aura. Oh my gosh, that's why I chose my yellow today. Wow. I knew it. It's joy. It's so much about joy today. This whole week is about joyfulness. And so where you're coming out of and where this is all leading to is that what you have learned along your journey to this place where you're at, and the card is of being with discomfort. I love this card. It's definitely one of my favorite cards. A friend just said to me, nastiness is that I love everything. It's also been said that I don't dislike anybody. And so, and it's not. It's what I do is I try to find what my role was in the situation rather than somebody else's, because I can't change somebody else. So I learned to live with discomfort. And from that place, what I've had to do now is have this rebirth and learn that I don't have to live with the discomfort. Sometimes you have to sit within the discomfort to understand it and to clarify it. So this abundance is being clarified by saying you needed to go through those periods, perhaps periods of lack of a partner, or lack of love, or lack of money, or lack of, anything, or an obsessive amount of discomfort. You've had to deal with all of those situations in order to sit and to be this princess, to be this person that you needed to be able to understand, to say that sometimes we have to experience those things in order to appreciate and learn from and to forgive and to move forward. And so the last three cards are who's with us, our guidance at this time. And so the first card, which was the card in the position of the birth and rebirth and finding your creative power. And so Spirit is with you, and Spirit is very much in love, is saying that this journey that you've taken, and it's come to a place of, brought you to a place of love. And so when you come into that creative love, it brings more of, because you're sitting in the vibration of love. And that's what we were talking about, is on the other side of that discomfort is that pure love. And not, when we come into a situation, a lot of people will say, that's always me, things always go wrong. That if you say that message, then that's a message you're going to receive. So rather than saying, hey, what did I need to learn from that? Hey, wow, I hurt my toe, what should I, well, maybe I should move that, whatever silly thing. But there's a lesson with it. So rather than sitting in the discomfort, it's learning from the discomfort and sitting in love. So the card that is in the, that's the strength that you have with you from the focus into focusing on your third eye and being that princess that you can be. That gentle, loving soul is the card. Oh, wow. It's the dancer of, it just fell, of promise. So this is so beautiful because I think this has to do again with, you know, keeping that focus, keeping that. Oh no, Spirit just said that's not what it's about. Spirit is about saying that you have kept your promises, you have kept your intention, you have set the way that changed your life, that recreated, that you now get to rebirth or yeah, rebirth yourself to come out as this person. You've kept your promises. Keep keeping your promises, but we're going to keep our promises too. You set your intention. We said if you set your intentions and you clear your space, you clear the way, and you open up to receive, we will keep our promise and we will deliver. Okay, so the final card in this position comes up. Wow, because we've been talking about our third eye and our soul star chakra, and the card is the Shaman of Foresight. And so what the Shaman of Foresight does is we need to live in the now, in the present. And so, you know, you've had to go back a little bit and live and see where you've lived with discomfort and understand why it had to. But the other side is that you don't need to know what comes in front of you. That's where we're guided. And that's why we have that's why I have Miilo, that I'll say, Miilo, take me on my direction that I need to be today, that serves my highest good, that serves my intention of what my dreams, my hopes, and my world where I want to go. And so this Shaman of Foresight puts those and sends you in those directions. Trust, 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 because you want to go towards that abundance. Trust, 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 trust in spirit. They keep wanting me to say trust, and I can't keep saying trust. So, and this was it. It seems to me that this was a dream. This was an action that you wanted for, and I'm going to say forever. And it's been rebirthed. Oh my gosh, that's exactly. It's this dream that you are now moving towards is a dream that you've had forever, forever and ever. And so that's why it's going to seem familiar. So within your third eye, that it's just as clear, and you can now see it with each step forward. You see it with better clarity. Second part of the reading. It's a lot of noise in there because I have a stone in there. And so we're going to do messages from the Magical Wish Box. So messages, and I just moved my camera. Messages from Spirit in regards to a romance, in regards to a relationship that you're in. And so we're going to pick this card, and it says, express your love. Well, so that card right in there says that either there's been a situation that you have not, or you've been afraid to express your love. Express your love. Do it, do it, do it. Express it with joy. Be joyful. Be happy. Be confident. Be charming. When I say confidence, because confident really was followed so much by charming. Because what they're saying is that, you know, it's not this confidence. Confidence is very attractive, but it's not a confident, not an arrogance confidence. It's a joyful confidence. It's the confidence that, I think I already said this, but when you walk into a room that you just brighten up, bring sunshine into that room, and that's what this is about. And so Spirit wants you to express your love. And so I only have 2 messages from the male side, and they can't stop thinking of you. As much as they want to stop thinking about you, or perhaps they've tried to stop thinking about you, they can't stop thinking about you. And they really want another start. Can we start all over again? Can we start all over again? They're just asking That's what they want. And so they can't stop thinking of you. So let's start this. So express. One side needs to express their love. I think that they express their love when they look at you. It is a voom. What do they call that? An attraction. You just get this voom. It's just so intense. It's a very intense relationship. And the card that came from your card, it's not a message on your side, is that yes, they are your muse. And the thing is I know that there is somebody, and I would say that one of the things about this person is that when I think of them, it makes me smile to think about them smiling or laughing. They have a certain way of laughing, and it quite humors me. They have no idea, but it's just the way it is. So okay, so the next card, the next message for yourself is karma. This is a connection. There is some karma that you are still needing to work through. Perhaps you're seeing the karma in a wrong way. I'm not really sure. You haven't seen the clarity within the karma. So we're going to get a card on that and see what that is. And that's from the Hermit Tarot. I just want to see where that karma is coming from. Okay. The card that came out is I'm too afraid to talk to you. The karma between this, I'll show you. Here we are. I'm too afraid to talk to you. The karma is fear. Fear of speaking. Now, you may have received a message from this person prior to, or you may have received messages from your past, and that's affecting this. So you've got to work through this karma where you're afraid to actually speak your truth. But when you speak your truth, or you speak honestly, but you speak from your sacral chakra or your fear, your gut, you're not speaking from your intuition, you're not speaking from your heart, you're not speaking from truth. You're speaking through fear. So you're sending this out with, again, I don't like the word negative, but with fear. You're sending it out with fear rather than sending it out with love. So don't be afraid to talk. Talk with love. Talk as that charming individual that you are. And the last card that came out as yellow, so it actually kind of just excited me. And the card is, how do you feel about me? And here's the thing. You're afraid to talk to them. They may even be afraid to talk to you. But here's the thing. You don't need to know the answer. That's not what is important. You want to know that answer, but you can't. You can't. Because if you only know they're going to say a positive yes, then you're going to do it. Of course you're going to do it. But karma's saying, no, that's not the way it works. That's not the way this is supposed to work for you. You need to work through that fear. You need to work through that. And you need to work through that fear, knowing that whatever outcome is the highest outcome that's intended for this relationship, okay? But it's saying express your love. So that's saying express your love from your heart. That's what from joy, from a peacefulness, from a just from a very pure state, a very pure place. Okay, so thank you very much, Pile 3. Namaste, blessings, much love. God is good. If you liked the video, again, I ask you to please subscribe, to like, and to share if possible. And again, if anybody knows what this stone is, this rock is, please, please, please let me know what it is, because I adore it. I absolutely adore it, adore it, adore it. Okay, thank you. Take care.